Wow, what a dual meet. Penn State, Nebraska. Penn State wins this one pretty big, 8 matches to 2 over the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Got to say, before we get into the dual breakdown, hats off to the Nebraska faithful showing out. Record-setting crowd at the Bob Devaney Center. An amazing atmosphere and amazing action start to finish throughout this one. I'll get into the key matchups and then do a full duel recap. Starting at 125, this duel actually began at 174, but the biggest result, first result, was at 125 pounds where Luke Lilledahl took out Caleb Smith, and I thought Lilledahl showed a ton of poise for a true freshman. This is a pretty raucous environment. He came out and was looking to get to his attacks throughout the entire match. It was only a one takedown match, but Luke was consistently firing, looking for attacks. His left-handed single leg, he was attacking the other side as well. I thought they could have hit Caleb Smith earlier in this match. I think that would have opened things up on both sides and could have had a slightly more entertaining bout here. Because Luke was really looking to score throughout this match, but had a hard time getting to legs. And this could be something that is a little problematic for Luke down the line. But what I think he has, one, really good competitor. Two, he got off the bottom very easily against Caleb Smith, who can ride, who can turn, has really nice tilts. And then third point, his defense is really good. He's hard to get to, and when you do, he can counter score extremely well. And it was Smith that, after he got one for stalling, took an attack, and great defense from Luke Lilledahl, gets the counter takedown late in the third for the match win. And that's really the first signature win of Luke Lilledahl's NCAA career. Going to get him into the top 10 in rankings. I'm not sure how high he will climb, but he's going to be up there now. So great showing by him. And then at 133, Jacob Van D pulls off the upset against Braden Davis of Penn State. And the opening Jonesy tilt was huge in this one. Braden fires off a single leg right away. And Van D, it was interesting because, you know, the Jonesy tilt, you kind of invert yourself on the Wizard. He inverted like 3, 4, 5 times. And then Braden eventually got to standing with it, and it was a standing Jonesy that actually got it done for Van D. He gets 7 points on the exchange. And Braden looked like he was maybe going to get himself back in the match. He gets away. He gets a takedown right away, like within probably 30 seconds of escaping in the first. You're like, all right, it's 7-4. This could get interesting. But he couldn't mount any other scores after that first period takedown, could Davis. They trade escapes. There's some reversals along the way. And it's a 14-7 final for Jacob Van D. Davis went for broke for a throw in the third period that was not there. So Van D got the Huskers on the board there at 133 pounds. That's a pretty big upset in the rankings. But if you watch Jacob Van D and you know his results, you know he's a guy that can wrestle with and beat these top 5, 6, 7 type of wrestlers. So this was a great showing by him. And at 141, it was a great showing by Brock Hardy. He was right there to beat Bo Bartlett. And this was, man, there's some great candidates, but I think this was the match of the night. Bo comes out with his beautiful lightning fast left-handed single leg, and then Hardy gets a reversal of his own. It was almost an escape takedown. I think they got this right here. It was just a reversal for Brock Hardy. Then he reversed him, and then Hardy escaped. There were I think there were 4 total reversals in this match. Get to the third period, and Hardy is down by 2, I believe. He gets a high crotch. He finishes. He gets the takedown. Third period, he's riding. He gets to where he has riding time, so he's effectively in the lead by 1 at this point. And then Bartlett gets a reversal for a cradle and almost puts him on his back, and then he's able to finish. This cradle happens in like the last maybe 7, 8 seconds of this match. So he was down 1, Bartlett got the reversal to go up 1, and he eliminated riding time in the process. So an amazing match. It goes back and forth. That was the rubber match between those two. Hardy won the first. Bo wins the second and the third. All 3 of their matches have had a lot of points on the board. So for Brock Hardy, you got to be encouraged. Although it's a tough loss, he looked really good. But Bartlett's such a good competitor, and that's the thing with Bo Bartlett. He wins these matches, and you look at the score. It's like, man, that was a close one. That was narrow, very little margin. But that's Bo Bartlett just knows how to win those matches, and his competitive element is what separates him from a lot of really good wrestlers, including Brock Hardy. But maybe the upset, the surprise, the result of the entire dual meet. This is the match I was most looking forward to of any match this weekend, not just this dual meet. Ridge Lovett versus Shane Van Ness. And it starts off, Shane hits a beautiful leg attack. You're like, oh, wow, he's doubled off. He's going to finish this. Ridge hits a beautiful front roll. And then really, he clears the position. Shane wasn't really able to get to legs afterwards. He had a hard time finding those openings against Ridge Lovett. So the two traded escapes. Shane notably did go down in the second period, and everyone knows Ridge Lovett, one of the best top wrestlers in the country. Shane went down, and he got away. He did a good job. He actually got a reversal, and then Ridge escaped. And then it goes to the third period. Ridge gets away and immediately fires off a single leg. He gets the takedown. He gets a ride going, and then he gets 4 near falls. So it's a major decision for Ridge Lovett. And this is a win I felt like Ridge really needed to get to keep himself in that title contending conversation. We watched him go to Cliff Keen, Las Vegas. He lost in overtime to Caleb Henson. So Henson was the national champion. He wins 2 in a row against Ridge Lovett. You're like, all right, it's Caleb Henson. Then you watch Shane Van Ness, and he is massacring everyone he's wrestling. But, and I said this in the lead up, everyone is excited about his margin of victory, but they're not factoring in who he's wrestled. And that just matters. Your level of competition matters. And Shane Van Ness, though he's beaten a lot of really good wrestlers, this year, you can't necessarily say that. He hasn't beaten those All-American caliber guys. And even Ty Waters, he was injured going into that match, and he didn't wrestle another match. He's out for the year. He was injured. So this was a big test. Ridge passed it. Now, do I think that Shane can't win this match? Absolutely not. This is a very winnable match. He showed he can get to legs. He showed he can get away. I know he got turned. I know he got ridden. But it's winnable for Van Ness. But it's clearly winnable for Ridge Lovett. This weight, I think, is a 3-person weight right now. I think it's Caleb Henson. I think it's Ridge Lovett. I think it's Shane Van Ness. And excited to see a potential rematch between Lovett and Van Ness at the Big Ten tournament. And then we could see them all at the NCAA tournament. Of course, there's other guys in the mix. Not trying to count anyone out, but right now the results say that those 3 are the class of 149. Amazing, amazing performance. And then Tyler Kasich, this guy continues to impress me. I mean, he beat Peyton Keller, and that was a nice win at the All-Star Classic. But then, kind of similar season to Shane Van Ness, hasn't really been tested. And then you're going against Antrell Taylor, who's one of the strongest 157-pounders, very positional, very strong. And Kasich, he looked extremely powerful, extremely strong. He had a 7-point takedown. It was weird. It wasn't exactly a normal single leg. He was under the leg, put him down, put him on his back for 4, and then that was really, the match was pretty much over from them. Antrell had a hard time getting anything going from there. So great win for Tyler Kasich. I thought if you were looking at most likely wins for Nebraska, I thought 157 was maybe the second most likely one, but that wound up not being the case, and it wound up not being all that competitive. Antrell Taylor not close to really getting a lot of offense going there. Now, the top half of this duel, we all kind of knew this was going to be very Penn State heavy, and it certainly was. Mitchell Messenbrink, he had a tech against Bubba Wilson. Levi Haynes, 9-2 over Lenny Pinto. Pinto had a lot of, he challenged him in a couple positions. I feel like in a lot of these exchanges, Levi would normally win them. But Pinto did a nice job of scrambling and really stalemating some positions where I feel like Levi generally would score. So 9-2, yeah, Levi, he did his thing. But Pinto really did some nice things defensively to challenge Levi from that verging onto a major or even a technical fall there. 184, Starachi did what he does. He won, I'm looking here at the results, 11-2. So he gets the major over Silas Allred. And Josh Barr, man, this guy's attack rate, his work rate, it's really impressive. And I know McDaniel is not, a top 10 guy, but this is a high caliber recruit, someone that Nebraska identifies like, hey, we need to get this guy in the lineup. They shifted their entire lineup to get Camden McDaniel in. And so this dominant win by Josh Barr shouldn't just be looked at, okay, well, it's not against the elite competition. This is a hard guy to beat, and he beat him soundly. Josh Barr continued to impress me, and really, I've been a little bit resistant to is he a title contender? He may be. I don't know that I know it yet. But as much as he attacks, as much as he scores, as high as his rate of offense is, he's almost undeniable at this point as a guy that can win a national title. I mean, he is answering all the questions. There's no doubt he's big enough. There's no doubt he has enough offense. Can't wait to see him against the Buchanans, the Cardenas, and eventually maybe even AJ Ferrari. But Josh Barr, they have a gem there. at Happy Valley with him at 197. Greg Kerfleet, he won by tech as well. So a great showing by Penn State. But man, Nebraska, you look at this match, they were in there to win 3 or 4 matches. The Hardy one could have definitely went their way. There was, the Smith one with Lilledahl, very close. It was a competitive match. But Penn State showing why they're the #1 team in America, why this is maybe the best Penn State team of all time. And as they get tougher and tougher tests, I'm curious to see how challenged we see this team being. But you can't be anything but positive about Penn State's performance there, even for Braden Davis falling, even with Ridge Lovett. You don't feel like those are results that can't be reversed, right? So great job by Penn State. Awesome job by Nebraska. Those guys, they were outmatched, and they were knowingly outmatched, right? No one was saying, hey, Nebraska could pull off the upset. But they fought every single match, and that you appreciate that, a team just going after it, trying to score. So it was an amazing dual meet. I'm still buzzing. I watched it last night, got up this morning, watched it again, and yeah, it was still awesome. So if you haven't got to check it out yet, try to watch it on Big Ten Network or wherever. Someone may pirate it and put it on YouTube, but try to watch it on Big Ten Network. Do the right thing. But yeah, amazing duel. What stood out to you the most in this Penn State-Nebraska dual meet?